Have you ever wondered if healing could extend beyond our reality? What if unseen forces from parallel worlds could rewrite our bodies, minds, and fate? In this Fringe-inspired episode, we dive deep into the eerie possibility of dimensional healing. Can other realities cure us? This will be a longer than usual investigation where we explore the risks, the forces at play, and whether humanity has already been altered by these otherworldly energies. Get ready to explore 13 chilling questions through tarot that challenge everything we know about healing, energy, and the soul. Hello, everybody. Welcome back, or welcome if this is the first time on this channel. So we're going to hop right in with question 1, as we always do. What energy or intelligence governs healing across dimensions? And we kind of want to know if this force or this energy is benevolent, parasitic, or beyond anything we can comprehend. So let's see what the Oracle cards share. I always start out with Oracle because I feel like they give a much more open story. They don't read my mind. I feel like tarot reads my mind and kind of gives me what I'm thinking. So starting out with Oracle is best for me. Gives you a better story. Okay. Second card is Ghostbusters. Pushover. Ah. They just want to fly. They do. Even if I don't want them to. The Man in the Iron Mask. Okay, so again, the question is, what energy or intelligence governs healing across dimensions? Now, with this transformation card, I'm looking at this one saying, this is something that we have, or someone, an energy or an intelligence that we have not encountered before. They are very different than us, but their intentions are very good with this healing across the dimensions. They don't really look at us as pushovers. We're not experiments to them. What they want to do, it looks like, is to make us, or not make us, is to allow us to see who we really are. Once we're healed, in whatever way they are doing healing, they want to help us remove the mask so that we can actually be who we are. Signs. Murder on the Orient Express. And For Love of the Game. They value people. They value us. And they really don't see the point of conforming, which is why they would kind of like to help us find our individuality, I think. I also feel as though they have a way of healing the criminal element with Murder on the Orient Express. It's kind of a clearing of the mind, as the saying in For Love of the Game is clear the mechanism. I feel like they have a way of clearing the mechanism, clearing the criminal mind, and having that start all over again. So let's see what tarot has to share. So we know it's an energy or an intelligence that we are not familiar with, but they really do want to do good things for us with the healing. Okay. We have the High Priestess. Yes, they are a mystery to us, something that we have never seen. They are kind of otherworldly, kind of ethereal. They are mysterious. Do they look like us? I don't think they do. Seven of Wands. They're here to defend us, to help, well, to defend us from ourselves, perhaps even to some degree. Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, they don't look at us as pushovers. They look at us as absolutely beautiful individuals, beautiful people. The Star. Yep, they want to help us find the star, the sparkle in ourselves. That's what their main goal seems to be. Two of Wands. There's a choice. They value us, as I said, with people, and they're trying to show us that conformity really isn't necessary, but the choice is ours. Whatever way we prefer to live, choice is ours. And with the Three of Swords, look at that. We have the sword coming down and we have the dagger coming down. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay, so as I said, I feel like they have a way to heal the criminal mind. And this is a card of growth of the mind. So to allow the mind to grow in a different way. With the Five of Wands. Taking away, clearing the mechanism and taking away the chaotic fire that seems to be in the mind of a criminal. Interesting, right? All right, so let us pick this up and move on to question 2. And if you're new to my channel, I clean up a little differently with individual cards, tucking them in to various spots in the deck, because I prefer to know that my shuffle really does do something. So if we end up getting repeat cards of any kind, I know that they came out because they're meant to and not because I didn't shuffle well. And I do the same thing with the oracles, tucking away the cards, not in the same pile they came from, tucking away the cards, and then when they're shuffled and split, we know that repeat cards are meant to be there. All right, so question 2. How does the body change? How does the body change when touched by another reality? So it's asking what happens on a physical, energetic, or cellular level during this interdimensional contact, however it happens. Red Dawn. Okay. Pile 2 here. The night they drove old Dixie down. Take the money and run. And fear. And the question again was, how does the body change when touched by another reality? So what happens on a physical, energetic, or cellular level during interdimensional contact? Red Dawn, it is an experience, and I think a physical experience like no other. Possibly a mental experience, something that is very difficult to describe also that happens. It's almost like you can feel your body rebuilding itself, feeling the cells die and be reborn kind of thing. It's a very intense feeling. Interestingly, they do not want or need any money for the service that they do. In fact, they do it pretty much without us even knowing about it. And they really don't care what our situation is here on Earth. They don't care. It doesn't matter if we're rich, we're poor, we're in between. It does not matter to them. Homeless, it does not matter. Healing is for everyone, is how they feel. There could be a little bit of fear in there too with the energy when you start feeling things a little differently, not really understanding where they're coming from. Because it's not like, I don't get that we are transported there. I feel like the healing comes through and gets us somehow here on Earth. Maybe we'll be looking into that later. I don't know. Tarzan and his mate. Piano. And what dreams may come. I feel like it makes us, well, obviously healthier, as though we have lived like Tarzan, like we haven't eaten anything chemical or drank anything chemical or showered in anything chemical, because our skin absorbs so much, not having walked through grass with pesticides. Everything is pure and clean. It's new. It says right on here, it's new. So you feel that newness. You might even discover, strangely enough, that you have a new talent of some sort, something that you didn't have previously. Maybe something was healed in a past life, or it was able to heal a past life situation that allowed some kind of memory to surface, which allowed you to have this gift that you didn't have before. And with what dreams may come, the continuation of this healing, this change in who you are, this change in the body, your physical body, may continue on in the dreams for a little while. You may remember, you may not. So let's see what Tarot has to share. This is actually pretty fascinating. Ooh. Okay. We have the Empress. Yeah, it's almost as though you can feel the creation. The Empress is all about beautiful creation. And the experience is like nothing that you remember experiencing. You probably did upon birth or being created in the womb. However, it is something now that you are very much aware of. It feels beautiful. It feels foreign, but it feels beautiful. Like you're being car washed from the inside out. Wheel of Fortune. It may even change certain aspects about your physical being. So let's say you're 20 pounds overweight. After this healing, I feel like that 20 pounds is either just magically gone, or it all of a sudden, no matter what you do, just falls off, pretty much. 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, the healing, it was perfected a long time ago. And I think they tried it on many different kinds of people just to make sure that it would work the way it was supposed to. And is it still a work in progress? Well, even if it's mastered, even if they mastered it, they still continue to work on tweaking this healing, because it is from another reality. It comes a distance. So they don't want anything to go awry with it. And yes, if you have a little fear over what you're feeling and not understanding why you're feeling it, not knowing that there's healing coming to you from another dimension, you just need to have some strength. Take a real look at what is happening with you and pay attention to whether it's anything worth being afraid of. I mean, if you're feeling so energetic and you're feeling suddenly very brave and suddenly very wise, kind of just knowing exactly what to do and how to do it, is that something to be afraid of? Probably not. You're not really going to go to a doctor for that, right? If you feel in the inside with no pain, okay? I'm not getting pain here. I don't see any pain. What I do see is just change. So if you're not feeling any pain and you're feeling things kind of rebuilding, that would be, I mean, there'd be no reason to be afraid, not really. So the Star, yeah, I feel like this takes us back to who we were, or the physical body we chose to have before we came into this world. So like a brand new baby almost. 10 of Wands. Yeah, the burdens have been taken away. So a lot of the gifts that have been held back by burden from more than likely past lives and maybe even this life, anything that's been held back by burden now can come forward. The fingers work again for playing the piano. Maybe you were very arthritic. Suddenly they work again for playing the piano and you didn't do anything different. But it's that dimensional healing going on. And then with the Queen of Swords, there's going to be more nurturing and caring coming through your dreams. And that includes caring for how you think about yourself, caring for your thoughts, teaching you in your dreams how to be truthful to yourself, how to talk to yourself in a very caring and nurturing way, which also would keep you healthy. All right, so next, I'm kind of waiting for my Chihuahua to start snoring. He's in the other room on the chair, and if I don't hear him through an entire video, it will be the first video that I think I've ever done that he is not snoring in some way or another. So if you do end up hearing some noises in the background, it will be him. All right, so let us get the oracles picked up and move on to question 3. Okay. Question 3. What must be sacrificed or altered to receive healing from another world? this is looking into possible cost, which we've already covered, whether there's something about memory or identity or timeline or integrity, anything that we have to pay for somehow, sacrifice somehow. Okay, so we have Carry On Wayward Son. For Love of the Game again. Ah. Volcano. And Pushover. Okay, so with Carry On Wayward Son, well, first, what must be sacrificed or altered to receive healing from another world? So it's looking at possible cost in memory, identity, timeline, integrity for tapping into another realm for healing. And again, I feel like we don't even know that this is happening. So with Carry On Wayward Son, this is a card that says it's all about a better version of self, a healthier version of self. And it does tend to work by clearing the mechanism. Maybe it's erasing all the old beliefs, all the old belief systems, and putting new in there, or rewriting it somehow. Rewriting it in a more positive manner. It has something to do with the belief system. I'm pretty sure of it. With Volcano, I'm thinking that there might be some heat flashes, perhaps. Just some warm moments. It says hotter than hell, but I don't think it's as hot as what this card is talking for, like a volcano. But I think there's some hot flashes. And, when you go for Love of the Game, this could very well alter memory to some degree, alter your identity, obviously, and your integrity will probably improve. That's my guess. I don't believe it takes away your memories. However, it somehow rewrites what you experienced or how you felt. Maybe cleans the slate. But it causes a few hot flashes, not forever, obviously, but brings us into balance, into like a perfect balance. Bride of Frankenstein, Forbidden Planet. Sorry about that. Okay. Just the thought of this for some people is absolutely terrifying. Thinking that perhaps something's, happening to you that you are not aware of, or that you don't know, except for that maybe it'll cause hot flashes and, for a little while. But to some people, it feels like it's not okay. Something that should not be allowed to happen. Pretty much all whoever is, doing this healing across the dimensions, the best that they can do is try to communicate the power of what is happening here. try to let your childhood self perhaps explain it, because as we see here, we have a child's face, part of a child's face whispering in an adult's ear. I feel like the child self understands what is happening, but we have to be able to listen, not let fear take over. We have to be able to hear. Thus, clearing the mechanism, we can probably hear the best. So let's see what Tarot has to share. I really don't feel like we lose anything. I think they've tested this, tried and tested it for a long, long time. I just don't think we lose anything. We just gain clarity. I'm going to say gain clarity. Queen of Wands. Yeah, this is the energetic version of self, almost like the auric version. It's a better version of self, but a more fiery, sparkly, exciting version of self. With Six of Wands, this is a recognition of when the mechanism is cleared, it is a recognition of this fiery being, knowing who you can actually be. With the Page of Swords, yeah, it is the message about beliefs that we were talking about. As things change, there might be some hot flashes going on because those beliefs are locked in there pretty heavily from childhood on, plus some past life stuff. Then we have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, this is we will balance. We'll be extremely balanced people, never too cold, never too hot, and our frame of mind will be so different. There won't be not really any bad thoughts going on in there anymore. We have tolerance, we have acceptance, we have, for some reason, everything is live and let live kind of a feeling. And we realize how much of a gift our emotions actually are. And we allow ourselves to cry if we want to cry. We allow ourselves to be happy if we want to be happy. All of this is limitless. We can do whatever we want with it. We feel okay to do that. Seven of Swords. Yeah, a lot of people are terrified because they really don't know what the end result is. And it's okay to be afraid. The Hierophant. Perhaps talking to someone who has gone through the dimensional healing would be helpful to you to make you realize, I mean, if you can see that that person is still in one piece, that they are sane, that they are healthy, that they just taking a look at them and listening to them might be very helpful to someone who is that afraid. And the Moon. You won't really know the full experience, even through communication. You won't know the full experience until you actually go through it. So even communication is only going to give you half of what you probably would need to know, other than talking to somebody who's already been through it. All right, so let us pick up and see what question 4 is all about. Yeah, I'm still not determining. I don't know if we know it's happening. I mean, we can tell something's happening, but are we... Kind of like with the ascension, there's ascension symptoms. Are those ascension symptoms, are those what we're talking about here with But those are pretty uncomfortable. And I'm not just talking hot flashes. Ascension symptoms are very uncomfortable. You might have heart palpitations and, you know, things like that. You might feel like you're extremely stuffy and can't breathe for a while. And I mean, there's some crazy ascension symptoms. So I kind of feel like that's different than this. All right, so question 4. Has humanity already been healed or altered by dimensional forces? So are we seeing unexplained recoveries or mutations of any kind? There we go. It was letting me know it was done and it just wouldn't go back together. Okay, in the Navy. There's the transformation card again. Now you see me. Ooh, stay there. Oh, where am I going? Compromised. So the question again was, has humanity already been healed or altered by dimensional forces? I think this is saying right now they're healing the ones that they're told to heal. Transforming the ones that they're told to heal. Not everyone yet, but there are some. And I think of the ones that they have healed, I believe they are the water element right now. Those are the ones they are beginning with first. The way that it looks are those who are the water element. And with the Now You See Me, this is where I'm thinking, okay, when I said before, I think it happens through the timeline perhaps, but I don't know now. Some of it looks like, or this looks like, now you see me and now I'm gone for a period of time and then I'm back again. Okay, because this is a card about magicians that make things appear and disappear. I think that's what this is about. We do go somewhere perhaps and come back a different kind of person, a healed person. And I'm not talking about a copy. We don't become a copy of ourselves. We are just healed. And then with compromised, just the idea of this might make people feel, well, as we saw before, fear, and as though they're being compromised. Somebody is taking advantage of them by doing this healing. War of the Worlds, Red Dawn, Bridge to Terabithia. Okay, so some people are going to think that it is aliens taking people. I don't think they take for very long. There's no way for me to know that, but I feel like some people are thinking that it's aliens that are taking them. Some people might be thinking that Well, we've got war here, and this is a card about war, or a movie about war as well, Red Dawn. So there might be a lot of fear here that aliens are taking us off planet and doing something bad to us. However, with the bridge to Terabithia, I think the experience that you experience depends on what you believe, what you are manifesting, what you're creating. So if in your mind you're creating aliens, then maybe that is what you see during your transformation. How horrifying that would be for something beautiful. But I don't think that they have control over what you see. It's not like they're turning you into a robot. Let's see what Tarot has to say. Okay, so we have the Page of Wands. Yeah, this is the new energy that they're starting to work on, the water element, those that are water element. That's the new energy. And then the Ten of Swords. This is a completion of the mind. So the transformation begins in the mind and then goes through the rest of the body, because our body is kind of a reflection of how we think, what we think. The Empress. They've created the system that they use. They've created the system that they use for humans, and the only way in which to do it is to take us for a little bit and bring us back. Knight of Swords. There are some that are actively thinking this is a threat. Excuse me. Page of Swords. This is the ultimate student, okay? Somebody who studies all the time, studies many different subjects, and feels like they've only touched the tip of the iceberg in everything that there is to learn. So I think that, there's those who actually believe that they're being compromised, being taken against their will, something happening to them, even though it's going to be a good thing, and that it's an alien thing, is what they're automatically thinking. The aliens are taking us. Those who have actually studied this and talked to people who have had it happen, who it takes place from, are realizing that it is a manifestation that has happened with our help. Healing is something that's always been top foremost in, I think, most brains of humanity, because there's so much sickness that seems to be around, especially sicknesses that tend to end up being fatal, right? So in studying some of this, in studying ancient history, studying ancient healing of many different modalities, we start to see what's possible and start to realize that we're not at war here. We are manifesting this change, manifesting this healing that we've always wanted. Two of Wands. Yeah, it's a matter of deciding what kind of passionate energy you want to have. Do you want to be the human that you are now with frailty or imperfections, illnesses. And when I say imperfections, I'm not saying they change your nose. I'm saying imperfections within the cells of the body that could possibly make you sick. Believing that that's possible is what begins the change, helps them heal you through the dimensions. So let us move forward here. We will be doing question 5. It's a really awesome thought here, isn't it? I wonder why they're starting with water element. Maybe it flows better, no pun intended, helps things flow better within the world and allows, I'm just guessing here. If you have any thoughts on that, put them in the comments below. All right, so number 5, question 5. What happens to the soul when healing bypasses this dimension? So are there any spiritual consequences? Is it possible that the soul can split, adapt, or become tethered from this timeline or to this timeline? Okay. I've never been to me. What dreams may come? The butcher's wife. Okay. And dragonfly. Okay, so the question, what happens to the soul when healing bypasses this dimension? So we're looking for spiritual consequences, if there are any. Does the soul split, adapt, or become tethered to this timeline? So with I've never been to me, this is a card that says either you really don't know your soul anyway. You have a personality, you have all kinds of different things from past lives and stuff like that that create who you are in this lifetime. So you've never really met your soul, so to speak. But you've also really never met you. Not in a, well, you did when you were born, but were you aware that you were meeting you? I'm going to say no. I don't think we really know who we are until we pass on and go beyond the veil and take a look at our lives and, do the run through. So I don't know that we would know that anything was amiss with the soul, except for from dreams. I think dreams can share a lot of information, a lot of signs. They can take us through experiences that we could not survive through in real life. Okay? So we get to know ourselves in our dreams, and I think we would know if something was amiss with the soul that way. With the butcher's wife, she talks about a split apart. It's some kind of theory from Plato, Plato, some kind of theory that talks about each of us having a split apart. And I don't remember the story. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, and I can't seem to find it anywhere to watch it again. It's a great movie, but she talks about the split apart. So I'm thinking that when we have this dimensional healing, if there's any part of our soul that is fractured, it comes back together, makes us whole again, as we were when we were in spirit. E.T. Winter. And turn, turn, turn. So yeah, I feel like it makes our bodies feel like home again. And there's no part of us that is like frozen, like our muscles and our bones and all that stuff. There's no frozen, unmovable bits of ourselves any longer. Because I think we all have that issue. The change of the seasons doesn't affect us the way it maybe did. We have more patience. Things are just turning and moving exactly the way that they're supposed to be. Movement, flow, everything is working like clockwork. So I'm going to say the answer to that question is nothing bad happens to our soul. In fact, if we're missing a piece or missing some pieces, if they're fractured somehow from past lives or whatever, I do believe they all come back together, as they would when we pass on and move back into spirit. So here's tarot. We have strength. Yeah, you have to have strength to really want to know who you are in every way, shape, and form. 5 of Swords. The dreams can be very chaotic, but they will share the truth. Temperance. Yes, brings our souls back into balance. The Sun. It's the clarity that we had in spirit and have again after all this is done. 10 of Cups. Happy home. Beautiful feeling. It's just an overwhelmingly beautiful feeling. Happiness. We're home. We feel at home in our bodies. The Empress. We feel if we were to have created ourselves, this is what we would feel like. We wouldn't be frozen. We would be magical, beautiful, flexible, anything that you could think of as a creator. And the Ace of Cups, it's the gift of love. We love this new us. We can love ourselves because none of the baggage is there any longer. That anything that made us feel as though we couldn't, that we weren't worthwhile, or just things that happen as life moves on, comments that other people make that stick to the heart. None of that matters anymore. It's healed. It's gone. The lesson that you received from it has been absorbed. Made you a better person. Okay, so we're moving on to question 6 here. Okay, question 6. What is the hidden danger of seeking healing beyond the veil? The shadow side of dimensional medicine. What might we awaken, attract, or lose in the process? And this is almost like question 3 as to what must be sacrificed. But this is not a must be sacrificed. This is a hidden danger, possible hidden danger, something that they haven't worked the bugs out of yet, kind of thing. There it is again. I've never been to me. Same spot, too. Love train. Ooh. Get back in there. Okay. Wildwood weed. Independence Day. What is the hidden danger of seeking healing beyond the veil? So is there a shadow side to this? First of all, we go back to this, and this is, again, we don't really know who we are. We don't know everything that is wrong with us. We don't know what past life things have penetrated our minds and added to our beliefs. We don't know ourselves completely. Most people don't take the time to actually learn. And even if we do, how do we know we have it all? You know? So everything that is being done with love, as a universal solution, basically, a healing the human race, healing us, healing people. And it is an unexpected cure, something that at one point in time was just an experiment and ended up being an unexpected cure, something wonderful that has given back our independence. So we are not dependent on drugs. We aren't dependent on the medical community. Or, well, and again, drugs, allegedly. We have Suspect, Anna and the King, and Forgiveness. It is no surprise that we are suspect about this, because there's never been a cure, basically, for anything unless it involved chemicals, putting chemicals in the body. It's just been like that forever. It is hard to imagine that something this beautiful could allow us to fit into ourselves in such a way, whereas we were once strangers, now we are not. And it also just kind of, forgiveness is also kind of automatically placed in there. And I'm not saying that the dimensional healing says, oh, now you're going to forgive. No, not like that. It's more along the lines of, because everything is being healed, including past life carryovers, everything. There's more clarity to know why things happened, and forgiveness just comes naturally. Which also keeps the vibration high and the healing intact. All right, so let us see what Tarot has to share. we have the Tower. Yeah, we don't know if we're falling apart or not. Not every part of us. There's no way for us to know. The Empress. It is the creation of this universal solution. It is the power of love. That's what they have created. And yes, it is an unexpected cure for the world, everyone in the world. It's not just for certain people. Two of Wands. Again, this is the gateway you can walk through. Do you want the healing or don't you want the healing? It is your choice. It is your choice to choose the energy that you would like to have. Queen of Cups. Obviously, this feels like something wonderful, but is it too wonderful? We're suspect. Of course we are. Queen of Swords. If we really think about it, we will know the truth because it will come to us in our minds as a healthy thought, okay? We will fit into our own bodies. We will be glad to be in our own bodies. We're no longer in a foreign world, foreign country. Never been to me. Saigon. And the Nine of Wands. Forgiveness. Yeah, it's been a long, hard road as humans. A lot of times we are exhausted. We are backed against the wall. We just dealing with one another is sometimes very challenging. Dealing with ourselves is sometimes very challenging. This is where forgiveness is one of the biggest healings that can be offered. Okay, so going to move on to question 7 here. And forgive me if sometimes I'm so very quiet. I get quite involved in what I'm doing, and a lot of times I forget to even look at the camera. It's not that I've forgotten that you're there. I just get very focused in. Same goes with getting the cards, picked up and things like that. Very myopic focus. Okay. If you hear any buzzing, it is my phone in my pocket. It's on vibrate. Okay, so question 7. How does a person tap into another realm to receive dimensional healing? So what opens up that doorway? Is it trauma? Is it a consciousness shift? Is it astral alignment or some kind of outside intervention? Okay. Pay It Forward. If you've never seen that movie, it's a great movie. It's an old movie now. But, it's quite the tearjerker. Beautiful, beautiful movie. Okay. The Bride of Frankenstein. Backdraft. A horse with no name. Okay, how does a person tap into another realm to receive dimensional healing? I'm thinking one of the things that helps to get you noticed is service to others. That you're really putting forth something for other people. You oftentimes really don't think of yourself a whole lot. Another thing could be such fear that it reverberates through alternate realities or that it vibrates through alternate realities. So fear could be one of those. Sitting and waiting silently, maybe putting it out there that you would like to, in your mind, that you would like to have dimensional healing, and silently waiting. Spending time with a horse with no name, spending time by yourself, focusing on the things that you believe you would like to change, working on changing, working on healing yourself. When the effort is seen, the universe usually will make something happen that will make that a little easier to get through. And maybe that is one of the things. Guidance. The sound of music. 7 days leave. I'm thinking it's possible that maybe your name gets put into the hat, so to speak, by your spirit guides or your angels to, kind of a whisper in the ear saying, this person would be a good candidate right now. With the sound of music, I feel like this is somebody with a lot of joy, where their frequency is so beautiful. But there's things that still are a little off in that frequency. But whoever's doing this, whatever energy or intelligence is doing this from the other dimension, can feel that there's just something a little off with this person. And if they were healed, the difference that they would make in the world. So they would be worth taking and getting this done as quickly as possible, even if they're not a water element. And I'm thinking here with 7 days leave, maybe, just maybe, we're gone for about 7 days. But it's so fast that I don't think anybody even notices that we're gone. It's like a blink of an eye. Just like they say when you go to spirit, it's like a blink of an eye. Or if you decide to spend 1,000 years as a tree, it's a blink of an eye. So let's see what tarot has to share. Knight of Swords. This is definitely an active individual who knows their own truth, who knows that serving others is powerful, and they will take risks. 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, to grow in life, to be able to do anything in life, to grow and just have a better life, fear is not going to do it. So that makes sense to me that it would be necessary for someone who is so afraid. Maybe afraid to come out of their own home. Is that called agoraphobia, maybe? I think. Anyway, that they're that afraid. The quality of life is not as it should be. They should be out enjoying the world. But so maybe that's why fear is one of those things. in a special scenario. And then we've got Wheel of Fortune. Could just say, just by chance, if if you're sitting waiting, you're just waiting for your chance, pretty much. Your turn to come. Your turning point. And we have Lovers, so we have choice. The choice to go out and find yourself, so to speak. You have a choice to do that, and that is one of the things that will make it possible or allow it to happen. Guidance, we have Queen of Swords. Yeah, there's been communication. In some cases, there's communication to the other dimensions on your behalf by your guides, angels. Page of Wands. When the message is music, or when the frequency is music, okay, so full of flow and joy and magic, it has a message. There's always a passionate message behind it. So there can be an even more passionate message behind it if the person is brought together wholly and completely healed in every way possible, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And the Eight of Swords, yeah, it takes about 7 days to master the mind, to change the mind, to have the mind realize that it is not victim to anything. So it isn't a matter of, these are some of the things that it's suggesting you can do to be chosen. And it almost really does seem to be a chosen kind of scenario. And maybe, with your guides and your angels, maybe it is just a matter of saying, hey, can you put in a good word for me? I'd really like this healing. All right. So moving on here shortly to question 8. So I hope you're enjoying this. I really have a lot of fun doing these because you just never know what's going to come out. But if you are enjoying it, please feel free to like and subscribe, maybe even share. But one thing I'd really love is if you would comment, and if you're seeing something different in the cards, please put that in the comments. Give me what you see. I would love to know. I'd love to see it. Can't get these to stay. Okay. Question 8. What force or realm holds the key to dimensional healing? And is it a parallel earth, a higher plane, or some kind of forgotten technology? What force or realm holds the key to dimensional healing? Ooh, okay. Towering Inferno. Oops. Elvis. Eye of the Tiger. E.T. All right. So again, the question is, what force or realm holds the key to dimensional healing? Parallel Earth, a higher plane, or forgotten technology? With Towering Inferno, I feel like this is saying we can't know. This is a suspenseful movie. We don't know if they're actually going to make it out or who's going to make it out of this Towering Inferno. We don't know who's going to get arrested or blamed or whatever for what took place, the shortcuts that were taken, etc. And it's just not something that we're meant to know at this point. With Elvis, they just want us to look at it as something fun and adventurous, something that will make us laugh and make us happy. But you can guarantee that there are those who are keeping a very, very solid eye on everything that goes on to make sure that nothing ever gets corrupted in this. And that you get safely home after the fact, after the healing. Let your love flow. Vertigo. And For Love of the Game. Yeah, once you're home, love is what it's all about. It really is. This is how you stay in tune and stay connected. That love frequency is just so powerful, and it is also what creates healing, health. When you love unconditionally, when you are of service to other people, when you have better health than when you do not, or when you are just pretty much thinking only of you, doing everything only for you. So we can't know, and it's probably better that way, because I almost feel like it's a secret location. Somewhere very high up, secret location, but they want us to love the experience. They want us to be comfortable in knowing that there are those watching, very trustworthy people who have survived some pretty crazy things and want to make sure that nothing bad happens to anybody else, especially us. And when we go home, the love that we feel is like nothing we've ever felt before. It just flows from us, and people notice. We know that we've been somewhere that's been almost dizzying. And we also know that we're thinking more clearly than we ever have before. So we can't know. We can't know what force or realm is holding the key. And, you know, that's actually pretty smart, because we know for a fact that there are those who would destroy it in a heartbeat if they could find it. So let's see what tarot has to share. We have the Two of Wands. Yeah, it was kind of a debate, I think, whether to let everybody know where this gate is. And it was decided that no, it's probably better it stays a secret. And with the Five of Pentacles, they eventually want to help everyone on Earth by bringing them to this place, and making them happy, allowing them to feel happy. Two of Swords. Yeah, the people who are keeping, people, beings, whatever, that are keeping an eye on this place, they've had their share of being fooled. They know the difference now. They made a decision not to be fooled again. Page of Cups. Yep, this is a whole new beginning for intuition, a whole new beginning for feeling at home and feeling good. Four of Swords. It was a rest. And coming back from the rest, the love just pours from you. Three of Wands. You somehow know now what path to take. It's so amazing that it's dizzying almost, but where you maybe didn't know what to do before, everything is absolutely clear now. And you can move forward with absolute confidence and health. And yeah, so it doesn't really matter who holds the key, but it does. We want to make sure that they're honest, that they, really are doing good things for humanity and whoever else that they help. That it's not corrupt, that we come back with that love vibration that is like no other. That's pretty clear cut. All right, so we are going to be at question 9. Remember, there's 13 questions to this one, so it is an extra long reading, but it was such a neat subject. Sometimes you just got to go with the flow with it, because it's just one of those things. All right. So question 9. How does healing in another dimension differ from ours? What laws, energies, or beings govern health and restoration beyond this reality? So how does healing in another dimension differ from ours? Over the top. Never been to me. It's 3 times so far, I think. Pretty sure it's been 3. Come and get it. Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, so how does healing in another dimension differ from ours? I feel like this is saying that in the other dimension, they do everything over the top. Nothing underhanded. Everything that they do is almost done in an exaggerated form, because it has to be strong to take effect and to stick, if that makes sense. They don't leave out anything. And with I've never been to me this says everything that they put into it, it is for the whole of the being. Mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. It is for our whole self, not just treating a symptom, as is often done on this side. We aren't forced to do this, if they decide to take us over there, we get an invitation. And so we can accept it, or we don't have to accept it. It's just like, come and get it. It's here. If you want healing, it's here. And while you're there, they spare nothing in making sure that you are safe with Guardians of the Galaxy. What happens to you? Oh, I was just going to redo the shuffling. So we have Field of Dreams, Matrix, and Hand-Me-Down World. So the mentality of it was, build it and they will come. But the problem was, is they discovered that it had to be by invitation, because people would come. I mean, if you could get healed, you'd be on the first bus out of here. I mean, in every way, shape, or form. Never had to take another drug, never had to go to another doctor. If you could do that, perfect eyesight, etc., I think we'd all be on the bus, like right now. Over here, in our dimension, a lot of what we see in the healing is illusion. It isn't what it is. It's not real. Most of the time, allegedly, it is to line other people's pockets, because our systems are broken and probably will be for a long, long time. All right, so let us see what tarot has to share. Oh, and I feel like by the time they're done with us, we almost feel like a superhero. Okay. So over the top, we have Queen of Swords. Yeah, this is the truth. They do nothing but true care and nurturing of us, or whoever they're healing. Ten of Cups. Yeah, this is emotional completeness. Everything is, you are complete. You are fully complete when you are done with this healing. Ace of Wands. Yeah, the invitation is given, and the potential explained, I think, of what this can do, the power it can bring to your life. Judgment. It's a calling. You're either going to want to do it or you're not. It's a calling. The Emperor. Build it and they will come. And the Emperor runs it. Whoever the Emperor might be more than one being, but he oversees. And it is definitely, but it was his job to care for his, we'll say, galaxy. Let's see, Five of Cups. Yeah, everything here is stress related and an illusion. And stress, as we know, affects the emotions, which then affects the chakras, which then affects the health. So it is, ours is not a great place to be. Two of Swords. Yeah, we can continue to be blind and not make the decision to go, or not go if we are invited, but their healing is real in comparison to ours. Okay, so let us clean up here. Move on to question 10. Ah. I spread them out and then they want to fall or try to fall out of my hands all over the place. Okay. So let us get these picked up and put away. Oop. Okay, so we have question 10. Why do some people experience spontaneous or unexplained recovery? From accidents, interventions, intentional cross-dimensional connections. So yeah, there's been some miracles here. So let's take a look. Horse with no name. Oh, we got one turned backwards. There we go. Teach your children. Oh, that was an interesting split. One card. Okay. And we have signs. And Kung Fu fighting. So why do some people experience spontaneous or unexplained recovery? Okay, so I feel like with a horse with no name, that these people are kind of chosen at random, okay? There's no specific plan. I think there's a program that goes looking for individuals like this. And I feel like it's those people who have kind of, maybe they're sick and they've just kind of given up. They've, life is what it is and that's how things are and there's no sense in fighting. It's almost like they've surrendered, okay? Like surrender is like a huge thing. And then there are also people who have used their life wisely. They have built a future. They have taught their children well. They have created a path for themselves and really used their brains to create something good for themselves. Not their fault that they got sick, obviously. They value other people and they made sure that, they had clear boundaries. They did everything right. Seemed to do everything right. And then when it came to, being sick, they surrendered, but still began doing or continued doing like focused movement, like Kung Fu, and trying to help their energy flow. They didn't stop caring for themselves just because they were sick. They did their best to try and improve the situation in a natural way. And then we have Ghostbusters, Jet Airliner, and Shambhala. So that is when there are those, again, who are out looking for these people from this dimensional healing place, wherever it is, whatever it is. They discover this person and they take them on the journey of healing. So again, I think we said they were gone 7 days, like a blink of an eye, and it starts their journey completely anew. They are in a most beautiful place. And if you look at Shambhala, it's almost a card that needs no explanation. Wouldn't you love your insides and your outsides to feel like this? So let's see what Tarot has to share. So apparently with the spontaneous or unexplained healing, it's the surrender that is required, but surrender without giving up trying to help yourself. Okay, so we have 7 of Wands. Yeah, these people, the ones who are coming to look for these people who are ill, they feel the need to defend them because they've done everything right. The world. They've made the world a better place just by being a part of it. 4 of Cups. They haven't accepted everything at face value. They've been very careful about how they speak, how they listen, how they, pretty much everything that they've done. And, you know, if something didn't ring true for them or strike their emotions in the right way, they didn't do it. They did not compromise themselves. The Emperor, they took full charge of their bodies in every possible way that they could. 9 of Swords. Yeah, the Ghostbusters come to take the worry and the anxiety away from these people who have done everything the right way. Ace of Cups. The emotional gift that is given when they are taken for the healing. There is no limit to what is required and what is needed to be given. And the emotion of that is quite something. And yes, Shambhala is their whole new beginning. Beautiful. So beautiful, right? So there's a lot of different ways, you know, if you look back in this reading, there's a lot of different ways to be able to get this dimensional healing. And I know this is, a lot of this is what if, you know, it's a Fringe-inspired, Fringe-inspired. It's a Fringe-inspired card reading. Asking questions about something that might be a what if, but what if it's not? What if it's not just a what if? Okay, what if it's real? And which is why it's brought to our attention. Food for thought, right? Okay. All right, so question 11. Who or what decides who receives dimensional healing? So is it a pattern, a selection process, a force guiding these phenomena? Now this is a little bit different than how does a person tap into another realm to receive dimensional healing, which was question 7. Let's see what this says. Who or what decides who receives dimensional healing? E.T. butcher's wife. For love of the game. Seems to be a pretty consistent card in this. Elvis. Okay, so who or what decides who receives dimensional healing? I'm going to say with ET, it's who answers the call. Because remember, it was an invite situation. You could be invited to come for healing. It could also be someone who, remember we talked about the split apart. So it could be someone whose soul is very fractured and just catches the attention of whoever's doing the dimensional healing. I'm feeling as though here it is people who show a love for others like no one else. In other words, they're very special. They already have the love vibration that is so powerful, and they give it to other people very freely. Their mechanism is clear in the love frequency. That catches the attention also, because their physical body may require healing, and maybe to some degree they give too much love away. So things like that need to be balanced, but they're in service to others to such a degree that the love frequency shines through. And then when I put this card down, it was just kind of funny. It says tickle me. And I was going to say, those people who like to be tickled. I feel like this one is just those people also who have a lot of joy in their life. Or no, that's not right. I'm going to say autistic, handicapped. These people who are deaf, these people seem to have so much joy in comparison to those of us who have all our capabilities. Autistic children are oftentimes so exciting and so just happy. Those with Down syndrome, same thing, so happy. And I feel like those are the ones, they're front and center here. Front and center, even over anyone else. They're front and center. 7 days leave. Carry on Wayward Son. And Speed. So again, it is, all of these things plus others that we have already gone through. But again, front and center here. And for 7 days, they're gone. But again, blink of an eye. Nobody really sees it happen. Nobody notices. And they come back a better version of themselves. Ready to take on life in a way that they never knew they could. So let's see what Tarot has to share. And it's not telling us here who decides. It's, again, some of the reasons why certain people are invited. Or eventually just brought to be healed. Okay, so we have 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's people who have been called. People who answer the call. Ones who are not doing very well in the human world, not having a very good time of it. King of Cups. Yeah, the structure, the emotional structure, the connection between split aparts is missing. There's fractures. Needs to be brought back together. Ten of Swords. The communication in the mind is complete. They've cleared the mechanism. They just emanate the love frequency. It pours from them because there's nothing in their mind that stops them from saying, oh, I don't want to help that person because. Nothing like that. Then we have the Nine of Wands. Yes, these are the ones that have a very difficult time in life. Like they've been given a hard life, but they never give up. That's with Elvis. Six of Swords. 7 days of peace of mind. This is Six of Swords is my peace of mind card. Harmony of the mind. 7 days of to harmonize the mind. Knight of Swords. The better version of self. The self that is active and truthful. And Wheel of Fortune. They come back and they spin the wheel. Do what you want. Do what your heart desires. Okay, so we have 2 questions to go. I do like a lot of times that the cards don't always answer the question exactly. When we were at the, what force or realm holds the key to dimensional healing, and it wouldn't tell us. I like that because I feel like it's more truthful, like the cards are speaking truthfully and for a reason. It would probably be, a ruined thing if certain individuals knew everything, if you get my drift. Okay, so question 12. What are the hidden risks of receiving healing from another reality? That's very, very close to what is the hidden danger of seeking healing beyond the veil was question 6. This is the energetic cost that they're looking for. Such as identity confusion, body rejection, or timeline disruption. Let's see what it has to say. Ooh. So we have signs. Fifth dimension. The butcher's wife, again, same position as the first time it popped up, I think. I know it was up there. Wildwood weed. So what are the hidden risks of receiving healing from another reality? Energetic costs like identity confusion, body rejection, or timeline disruption, for example. Okay, so whoever does this dimensional healing, as has been talked about before, they value people. And the whole point, I think, is to make sure that we are healthy enough to enter the fifth dimension. For those people who have a hard time with the healing on their own, or they're very, very fractured, their souls are very fractured, it might take them a long time to reach this fifth dimension. So I think this is where things are being pushed towards. We are being brought into our healthy light bodies, if that makes any sense, so that we can enter that fifth dimension and get away from the world that we live in that is very unhealthy for us. Okay? There is really no energetic cost here because there's nothing difficult or nothing wrong, nothing costly about being cured in mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual areas. 2012. Hidalgo and forgiveness. This takes away the fear of end of the world kind of scenarios, which is one of the things that is used a great deal to keep control of humanity. Fear and the destruction of the world through natural disasters, which aren't natural, allegedly, and sicknesses and so many different things that they bring up on a regular basis, okay? No need to be afraid of that anymore. The promise of having a life full of wonderful relationships, sacred relationships. This is one of the things with the fifth dimension, because there is no discrimination. There is no conformity required. People are valued. They're sacred relationships. And one of the things that aids with that is forgiveness. When we forgive and love ourselves, forgiving and loving other people is easy. So there is no energetic cost here. Nothing. There's no cost, no horrifying side effects of any kind. We've not seen that at all throughout this entire reading. There's been nothing. So let's see what tarot has. We have Queen of Pentacles. Yes, this is the loving, nurturing Earth Mother. She loves people. She nurtures, she cares for people. So do they. Eight of Wands. This is the message, the newscast flying through the air, headed for the fifth dimension. This is the news. This is what is happening. Ace of Swords. It's the gift of the mind for especially those who are split apart. It's the gift. This whole thing is a gift of the mind that is limitless. Eight of Pentacles. Like the wildwood weed that is the unexpected cure for everyone. Again, this program, this dimensional healing has been something they've worked on and worked on and worked on for centuries and centuries and centuries from whenever. But they continued to work on it, continue to work on it even now. And we have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, you can take your pick on what you want to be afraid of. Of course you can. But once all this takes place, because we're offered so many things to be afraid of, once this takes place, it doesn't matter. There's nothing to be afraid of any longer. And yeah, here's the Two of Cups. This is the relationship card. Sacred relationships. And growth of the mind. No more betrayal. No more betrayal and deceit. Things like that don't matter anymore. Because love and forgiveness is all there is. All right, so let us move on to the very last question. I try to be quiet and pick these up as quickly as I can without spilling them all over the place, so that would delay things again. All right. Oop. Okay, last question. Has dimensional healing already altered the course of human evolution? So what we want to know is whether we've unknowingly integrated these events into our timeline. The window. And I'm so sorry if you've been hearing a strange buzzing sound. It is my phone in my pocket, and somebody has been trying very, very hard to get a hold of me. It is Mother's Day, but all that was done yesterday. So, Sister Act. Winter. Midnight Train to Georgia. Okay, so has dimensional healing already altered the course of human evolution? I think there is a window of opportunity here. I don't think, maybe the window of opportunity only opens up every so often. That's kind of what I'm getting. Opens up every so often. And I think whoever is watching over this dimensional healing, okay, and as we saw with the eye of the tiger that was up here on one of the questions, those people are very, very careful about who they allow to know about them, if that makes sense. So they look for, this window of opportunity might be offered if what they're seeing is not an act. Not an act. Where the people are genuine. So it's not just our planet this is for. So where the people are genuine. The window could be closed for a long, long time. Frozen, closed. If the evolution of the people just never changes. With the midnight train to Georgia, this is one of those where for people who are willing to go back to living an authentic life, and I think that is actually what happens naturally after this healing. You just know the right foods to eat, and you know how much sleep to get, and you know how long you can be in the sun. You're not going to get cancer from the sun. Nothing affects you after this healing. You could eat tons of sugar if that's what you wanted, but your body doesn't want it. You don't even crave it. You may see it, but you don't care. So this changes things so much. Frequency is another situation. Bad moon rising and Tarzan and his mate. Okay, so again, has dimensional healing already altered the course of human evolution? I'm going to say no. The window of opportunity really hasn't been opened to all humans for the fact that all humans, or many humans, are not genuine. And we're talking more in the higher ups, the many who prefer to take full advantage of the masses, okay? So the door is kind of frozen right now. Only certain people are getting through, as was talked about, or are invited, okay? As was talked about. Frequency is very important. These people usually have a really high frequency. But as we know, we have bad apples in the group. And it's going to be probably a long time before most people decide to go back to living a natural life. And this natural life is one of honesty. This natural life is one of freedom and honesty and respect for other living beings, etc. But for us here on planet Earth, so many are just acting the part. Acting the part. Or trying to act the part. Doing very bad things to humanity along the way. All right, so let's see for the last time what tarot has to share. Five of Cups. Okay, so the window is lost to a lot of people, a lot of planets, a lot of dimensions. Okay. Eight of Swords. Yeah, it's lost because there's too many people who are putting up an act, doing their best to keep most of humanity, and I'm going to talk Earth because that's all I know. Trying to keep most of humanity in victim status. So who wants to do, too much healing on people like that? It might not stick. King of Cups, and that's probably not a very good statement to make, but because I think it would probably do them good, but there's criteria, remember? Certain criteria that has to be there. And if there's no conscience, yeah, how do you handle that? And then the King of Cups, this is the emotional, this is ultimate emotion, ultimate intuition. And because none of that can be seen here, the window is frozen. Seven of Cups, yeah, there's some that are chosen. It's not a lot of people, but there are some that are chosen because they live authentically. Knight of Cups. These are the ones that are active with the love vibration. Their frequencies are high. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, there's bad apples here. They want to hold on to their power. They could care less about accepting, even if they knew about it, accepting, this window opportunity for everybody to get healthy, because if they did that, they'd lose a lot of their money. And then the Star. Yeah, the whole point here is to get back to the basics and become, fifth dimension, like a star. Healthy and perfect, I guess you could say. Healthy and perfect as a human, as we were in spirit. So no, dimensional healing has not altered the course of human evolution as yet. It can't until more people get on board, and that may never happen. So it may be one of those things where it's done in small increments. All right, so that is it for this Fringe-inspired episode 9. I'm going to give you a teaser for episode 10 for next week. So in the next episode, we confront a critical moment when prophecy stops being theory and starts becoming belief. Who delivers these messages, and what price comes with knowing the future? Episode 10 dives into the shift that could redefine reality itself. When enough predictions come true, what happens to everything we thought we knew? Stay tuned. So there is your teaser for episode 10. On the screen, you'll see a show schedule. I do 3 shows each week, and we're almost at the point where we will be changing 2 of the shows. Twilight Zone will stay, but the other 2 will change to 2 other shows. You'll find that out at the end of episode 10, what shows we're going to go into. With that said, I would like to very much thank you for spending this time with me, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And until next time, have a fantastic week. Take care.